So, hello everybody. My name is Arnaud Mazon. I'm the CEO of Galilée, and it's my pleasure to welcome you today for this session related to this business case that is about Big Mat, the famous distributor chain from France. And it's also my pleasure to welcome from the heaven of the GAFAM, meaning from Ireland, our friend Tony McCarthy. Hello, Tony.
Hi, Arnaud. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So as I said, we will be focused on the Big Mat case today, but let me then introduce you briefly Galilée first. So we are a French company specialized in what we call marketing production platform, meaning the type of solution that any communicated company needs in order to be able to serve its digital transformation on especially the marketing and communication area. We are about 120 people, part of the Vedia group, and we are doing a little bit more than 15 million of turnover. And today we'll be focused regarding our different strategic domain of activity of the MDM, of course, and what Pimcore will allow us in this specific business case that we will talk about Big Mat, and this concept that we will tell you more all along this session, which is personalization at scale, and that Tony will introduce us.
Thank you. Personalization at scale, and as the tagline shows here, how we took a headless approach to the implementation of this personalization in the print channel. As we all know, all the kids are talking about headless, where the content modules are separated from the presentation layer. Some may say that print has always been headless just by the physical properties and how it is separated from the content. But when you're looking at personalization at scale, you are bringing together many, many elements. Ultimately, you're starting with creative automation, designed to automate. Present today at Inspire will be one of the integrations that we had on the platform with Chili Publish to enable this creative automation for Big Mat. How we can take these content modules and dynamically place them on the printed page, which has its own restrictive characteristics due to its physical nature. Big Mat, when they laid down the challenge for us to achieve this scale across their many, many partners, is they needed brand consistency, the personalization of the marketing pieces to address the local market needs, to ensure, and Arnaud will go into it a little bit later, that the product information and the content is up to date for all the teams, no matter their location. The ability to allow the partner to have their input into the personalization, and ultimately to achieve more, make the brand work harder. Arnaud is going to take you into some of the statistics behind the scale of the Big Mat enterprise.
Yes, because it's always interesting to know by the scale and the size of a company to identify the type of needs it will have. And in the Big Mat case, what we can see is that it's a quite large organization with more than 8,000 employees, more than 2 billion euro of turnover, and more than 900 points of sales. So you can imagine the quantity that it will require in order to properly serve all of this organization in terms of marketing material, especially. And it's also when you take care of the variety of the type of product they have to make marketing for. So as you can see here, it's related to a large diversity of product, which will involve, of course, plenty of different type of category of product information, but as well all the visuals that will be required to represent all of these different type of product all across the different type of documents and marketing materials they will make. This considering especially the type of customer journey that a brand like Big Mat will want to address, and that Tony will tell us more.
It's not often you hear the print channel in the same conversation with customer journeys, but this was exactly the case when we started out on the journey to architect the platform to achieve the goals that Big Matt laid down. When we look at the various steps of a customer journey, Big Matt were no different. They had a considerable amount of channels at various different steps of the customer journey, a lot of content to coordinate with their internal creative teams, their agencies, their producers. So classic channel activation. What we had to consider is how print and how personalization of the print pieces within this journey can be achieved. Arnaud just showed you the diversity of products. Each product range could have a different customer journey or various different elements that will make it unique to sell that type of product. So when we break it down, one of the core philosophies when Galilée approaches a project like this and the architecture of the platform, we always start with the understanding of the brand guidelines, the rules, what are the criteria, the boundaries across all the marketing channels, and how print channel will equally have its rules to maintain all the print characteristics because of the mediums you're going out to. As we looked to the different channels that Big Matt were using, and to try and identify the first part, the creation of the perfect product information and how that product information is disseminated out into the different channels. And as you can see along the bottom here, print is unique. And that's when we talk about designing to automate. The print pieces may have many folds where content has to go across. And if we have to personalize that, we need to be aware of how the content will flow. So the creation of the perfect product information also brought us to the next step, to understand the content development lifecycle within all the marketing initiatives by Big Matt, and to take a unified approach to the all-channel production. Of course, there's the business strategic need why you would produce some content. There's the creative brief, the creative works on it, and then we have the master asset. On that discovery, we knew at this point from the master asset is where we got to work, taking the information that we would have architected within the Pimcore, and now looking to Chile Publish as to how could we adapt this master asset? What elements will we unlock for personalization by their partners, and ultimately deliver this experience throughout their complex ecosystem? To do that, we actually take the master document and we start analyzing it, and we break the document out into its what we call different content modules. For those of you who are maybe not familiar with print, Galilée has been in the print channel for in excess of 30 years. And we're all familiar with the print PDF that we see, but behind a print PDF is a complex ecosystem of relationships, of data that are all dependent on each other to make this final PDF to send to the printing press. And using Pimcore as a basis, it gave us the confidence that we can manage all of these elements throughout the ecosystem, from the media and its various workflows of generation right through to the written content. And of course, understanding how the team work across all the channels, from the creative to how they manage their product information. And as we know, a lot of times as multi-channel has evolved within organizations like Big Matt, it's based a lot of the time on tribal knowledge, on how the data is managed across many, many Excel documents, etc. With all this in mind, we were now starting to be able to get the vision across all the data within the ecosystem and start to organize it into what we call our little various data containers, from the product visuals to social media to barcodes. And this data relation analysis allowed us now to start the first step of ingesting this into the Pimcore platform, the unification of the data with the master data MDM approach, where we have the API flexibility to consolidate from the CRM and the ERP, to modeling it within Pimcore, to enriching it across the various different data models, from the DAM to the PIM to the PCM, the product content management, with the ability to adapt, integrate Chile Publisher, and deliver it out into the different channels for the creative automation, the editing, and so on. And of course, the validation to ensure the brand integrity throughout all outputs. I'm now going to pass you over to Arnaud, who's going to delve a little deeper into each of the different data models to kick off with digital asset management.
Yes, as it's, of course, one of the super benefit to consider a platform such like Pimcore that will allow to aggregate these different data model in one solution, starting by, of course, I will say in this context of print, what is about digital asset management and the ability with this very first core data domain to manage all the visual and picture required, as well the ability to transform this content, these visuals, depending about the different channel where you will want to use them. Then it will be, of course, about product information. That will be the second of the data domain that we will consider. And with Pimcore, the ability to, as we will see later during our short demos, the type of feature that we will be, that we are able to propose to the channel that BigMat is with all the affiliates of BigMat, regarding the ability for central marketing to aggregate all the information, product information required, but then not only talking about one PIM, but about plenty of PIM, plenty of ability for each of the affiliates to, from the central information, being able to create his own information, as we will see later. And as we will see in the following video, it will allow to propose through a proper front-end comprehensive solution to the affiliates, keeping in mind that all these people, the affiliates, are not necessarily, of course, trained on the way all these type of solution have to be used. Reason why the ability to provide them a proper and a very user-friendly interface is key in order to allow them to, first of all, be able to navigate in all the visuals and product information, so on the product themselves. And as you just see, with the ability to choose that they will want to navigate in the central database or in their own database that will be declined from the central one. So as you can see here, it allows to retrieve the complete product information with the visual, with the different type of category, and as well the feature associated to this information, allowing to search, to highlight or to pin a product, and to search across all this information. But when we want to go more deeper in one of these products, access what we call the perfect product page, meaning the ability to present all this product information that can be quite complex or can be quite diverse, considering text as well files, for example, the files that come with a specific product, and then that have to be associated to all this product information. Also, as I said, what will be very useful is the ability for each affiliate to decline from the central information the one he will want to consider for his own uses that can be quite different than the generic one, for example, for a local adaptation, but always keeping the relation in between the central information for this product and the information that he declined from this central information. Why? Because when updates will arrive, it will allow to, by keeping this relation in between the original information and the one that was declined, the ability to choose if you want to keep your information, integrate the one that is now provided with the update of this information, or mix both, of course, but always having the ability to manage yourself the way that from the proposition of a central marketing, you will be able to then decide which information is mandatory for your own uses. So having the better of the two worlds, a central one that can be used in a local approach. And that will drive us to the way all this information is supposed to be used when this information have to be considered in order to populate documents. In order to achieve that, we approach the integration with a Chile publisher that have to be seen as a desktop publishing application in a browser, in other words, InDesign in a browser. That's through templates that will be created for all the various documents that the brand will want to present to its channel, will be able to be associated with all the content that are managed in the platform, allowing like that to make the affiliates as autonomous as expected to use all this product information and visuals with all these templates without having to themselves carry the knowledge in terms of desktop publishing to achieve the proper documents that it will be able to achieve here. So Tony will tell us more about the concept that what we are talking about here carry, and we call the science of automated layout, as of course automation will be the way to reconciliate the complexity of the publishing with the expectation of the affiliates.
When we look at a term like the science of automated layout, it seems terribly, terribly complex. However, at the heart of this is the ability to respond to the different customer journeys. As you saw, the diverse range of products, and we're dealing with a print channel to ensure how can we create innovative layouts using technology. And it was the Chile Publish platform that, through their smart templating technology, that has helped us achieve this, because we now have the great brand portal with the perfect product sheets. Now we can connect the content to the various different templates and then have them user driven, the user accessing these templates. As we look a little deeper, the process actually is quite simple. It's no different to the headless approach that you're seeing in a lot of the other digital channels. We look at the final output, as we saw in the content development lifecycle, and we start to analyze the document. We break it down into its various different modules to understand the grid nature, what elements are logos, what elements are going to dynamically pull product information, and identifying which sources of data can be connected to which module on the page. And Pimcore has provided us with that source, because we've got the DAM information, we've got the PIM, the ability to upload localized information on demand, content links, access control, and many more, because obviously we have to look at legal and all the other elements and guarantees that go along with this. On the other side, we have Chile providing us the element control, all the things that we want to happen in the smart template with typography, scaling, dynamic, because once the template is out there in the smart template, it's going to be user driven. And with the smart templating, what we were able to achieve is break out each module into individual templates, as we call them, template snippets, so that we can isolate the intelligence and manage the field mapping so that it doesn't get overwhelming and out of control. Once we've achieved the field mapping to this content module, we can now proceed to create a snippet template library, multiple modules of multiple designs, because we have now figured different stacking relationships with on the page, all connected to the perfect product sheet. And as Arnaud described, either directly from the master PIM or their own localized, personalized PIM for their particular market. And with this is where we're achieving the scale, because we can now push different layouts working from the same library, user-driven, so that we can achieve the personalization at scale. And I've mentioned here a few times, when we actually look at the role of the user, It's about providing that unified user experience, presenting the templates. But the templates will also carry what we call workflow intelligence. I can take a simple digital advertisement and select that as a user, and I just edit the document, complete it, and I get my PNG delivered to me. Right up to a more complex piece that can have multiple addresses, because their partners may have different outlets that they want to market across. They can structure campaigns. They can combine campaigns where you can have a PLV side by side with a DL flyer, all through the one process. And it's the intelligence built into the template that sets the workflow for the user. The user then responds to the questions that the interface will take them through the various steps, choosing the products, editing the document, validating, and ultimately taking delivery of the PDF for local output. Arnaud now is going to take you through an overview demo of seeing this in action.
Exactly, and that's the starting point that we will consider, meaning the diversity of the templates that will be available for the one who will want to launch a campaign. So what he will first of all do is select the type of templates of campaign and templates. And as you said, Tony, being able to say that he wants some labels, some PLVs, some posters, that will be the type of documents that have to be achieved at the end. Based on that, following the same workflows that you were talking about, I will be able to be more precise regarding the quantity of product I want in this template, because I can have many or less. And then I'll jump into the selection of my product for this campaign. So here, it's also about considering the business problematic that is to select product for a campaign that we implement here in order to help the user to, for example, not being able to put 2 times the same product in the same campaign, or when a product exists with different description informed than one that is local exists and maybe is the one that have to be chosen. Meaning all the different considerations that have to be think in order to properly select the content for this campaign. Then it's about Cherry Publisher to execute the combination, or let's say the reconciliation in between the templates and the data, in order then to show to the user the result of this different selection into a proper page or a proper document. As we said, from here, from this interface, then the user will be able to, first of all, when it's allowed, directly type the text that he will want to see in each section. So, for example, here defining the appropriate dates of this campaign, but as well the logos that will also represent one campaign or another. And finally, the product, and you can see the product that were chosen before for this campaign, that appears in this panel in order to allow me to place this product and all the information related to this product directly in my page. So doing that, I will be able for each document to achieve the same actions, but considering the different type of documents, having the appropriate feature for each document. So here it will be my flyer where I will have multiple products. So as you can see, I have different placeholders that will allow me to select from different category of product, the ones that I will want to associate in this flyer. And as you can see also, having all the information that come together, I mean, visual, text, description, price, and so on. Also, you can see that as soon as I can select my product and put them in the page, the geometry of my page is not editable. It's all the type of way that will allow to guarantee that the brand guidelines will be consistent at the same time that the content of the document can be changes or can submit changes in this content of documents. So as soon as I consider that I achieve this, this part, I will be able then to initiate another workflow, the one that will be about validation. Because in this kind of organization, you can imagine that it's not just one person that from the beginning to the end is responsible of all the campaign creation. So here it involves that the people in charge of the creation will be then allowed to submit for validation what they've done. And as we will see, by logging with another user profile, considering the one in charge of the validation, I will be able then to see the documents that were just sent to me for validation. I will be able, of course, in my role of validator, to edit these documents and make the different actions that were planned at this area to contribute to the validation. So, of course, basically validate or rejected documents. And as soon as validated the documents, pass again the hand to the people that send me this document for validation, in order for this workflow to be at the end achieved with the final step that is for me the fact that now my documents are validated. You see that I have plenty of ability to manage my documents, like sharing them, download them in high res, in low res, in a word, all the expected feature when I arrive to a finished document, as well as you just see the ability to share these documents, because as Big Mat is, as we already said, a large network of affiliates, then it's also smart to consider that what I've done as example of a document can be shared to my other colleague in order to make the collaboration in between all these affiliates around this creation even more interesting and rich. So that's what we wanted to show you in this short demo that aggregate all of the different parts that we talk about with Tony in order to summarize this concept of personalization at scale that we'll now can talk with you about during this Q&A session that we will start from now.